It's big, it's chaotic, it's one of the wildest, most ambitious comedies ever made. But did you know that one actress took a role in It's a Mad, 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 Mad World just 3 months after her husband's tragic death, solely to pay off his debts? Or that a stunt pilot actually flew a plane through a billboard? No special effects? Even the title, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, reflects the sheer chaos of the film, with director Stanley Kramer nearly adding a fifth mad before deciding to hold back. But once you see the scale of this movie, you might think he should have gone for it. Let's take a look at some of the wildest behind-the-scenes stories from this classic comedy. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World is an all-star slapstick spectacle that redefined epic comedy. At a time when Hollywood was producing grand, sweeping dramas like Lawrence of Arabia and Cleopatra, Stanley Kramer set out to create the comedy equivalent. Instead of battles and betrayals, this film delivers car crashes, plane hijinks, and a no-holds-barred treasure hunt filled with some of the greatest comedians of all time. The result? Over 3 hours of non-stop madness, destruction, and pure hilarity. The premise is simple. After a car accident on a winding California highway, a dying man, played by Jimmy Durante, tells a group of strangers about $350,000 buried under a big W in Santa Rosita State Park. At first, the witnesses attempt to discuss a fair way to divide the fortune, but greed quickly takes over. What begins as a civil conversation escalates into an all-out, no-holds-barred race to claim the loot. The cast is packed with comedy royalty, including Spencer Tracy, Milton Berle, Sid Caesar, Ethel Merman, Buddy Hackett, Mickey Rooney, Phil Silvers, Jonathan Winters, and countless others. It's a lineup so stacked with comedic talent that even the side characters and cameos could headline their own films. Each character takes their own ridiculous route to Santa Rosita. Dentist Melville Crump and his wife Monica find themselves locked in a hardware store basement and resort to dynamite to escape. Ding Bell and Benji Benjamin hijack a small plane only to realize their drunken pilot has passed out, forcing them to attempt a chaotic emergency landing. J. Russell Finch, along with his overbearing mother-in-law, Mrs. Marcus, gets into a fight with British Army officer Algernon Hawthorne, resulting in one of the film's most absurd slapstick brawls. Meanwhile, Otto Meyer, played by Phil Silvers, double-crosses Lenny Pike, a short-tempered truck driver played by Jonathan Winters, leading to a legendary scene where Pike utterly demolishes a gas station in a fit of rage. The destruction was so intense that it took weeks to plan and execute, and Winters accidentally injured Phil Silvers multiple times during filming. Overseeing the chaos is Police Captain T.G. Culpepper, played by Spencer Tracy, who has spent years tracking the stolen money. He watches from the sidelines, trying to manage the escalating mayhem, but even he isn't immune to greed. As the group finally unearths the suitcase full of cash, Culpepper decides to take it for himself, which, of course, backfires spectacularly. In a climactic sequence involving a collapsing fire escape and a runaway fire ladder, the money is scattered to the wind, leaving everyone battered, bruised, and empty-handed. The film ends with a moment of unexpected brilliance. As the injured group lies in a hospital ward, Mrs. Marcus storms in, scolding them all. But karma strikes as she slips on a banana peel, sending everyone into uncontrollable laughter, even the once stoic Culpepper. It's a Mad, 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 Mad World wasn't just ambitious in scope, it was a logistical challenge unlike any other comedy at the time. Director Stanley Kramer, known for serious dramas like Judgment at Nuremberg and Inherit the Wind, set out to make the comedy to end all comedies. He gathered as many legendary comedians as possible, leading to a film packed with cameos. The Three Stooges, Jack Benny, Buster Keaton, Jerry Lewis, Don Knotts all make brief but memorable appearances. In fact, The sheer number of comedians involved created a problem: how to fairly distribute screen time and billing. Kramer solved this by listing Spencer Tracy first, followed by the lead comedians in alphabetical order, a rare but effective approach to showcasing such a massive ensemble. The stunts were just as legendary as the cast. About 80 of Hollywood's 100 stunt performers worked on this film. Frank Tallman, a top stunt pilot, even flew a Beechcraft airplane through a billboard in an airplane hangar in real life. No CGI, just raw skill and nerves of steel. The film's car chases were equally daring, featuring real crashes and dangerous maneuvers that pushed stunt work to new limits. Many of these elaborate sequences had to be filmed in one take, as they were too expensive or dangerous to repeat. The film's scale was so massive that actors were given two scripts, one for dialogue and one for the physical comedy sequences. Even behind the scenes, the film had its own wild stories. Jonathan Winters was once accidentally left completely bound in tape during the gas station destruction scene, only to be found hours later, still stuck to the chair when the crew returned from lunch. Phil Silvers, famous for his fast-talking con man persona, nearly drowned filming a scene where his car crashes into a river because he couldn't swim. Edie Adams almost turned down her role as Monica because her husband, comedian Ernie Kovacs, had recently died in a car crash. She ultimately accepted the part to pay off his debts, a decision that cemented her place in comedy history. The film was an instant box office hit, earning $60 million worldwide. It was nominated for 6 Academy Awards and won for Best Sound Editing. Over time, its reputation has only grown, landing at number 40 on the American Film Institute's list of greatest comedies. A 2014 Criterion Collection release restored much of the lost footage, bringing the film closer to its original 202-minute runtime. More than 60 years later, It's a Mad, 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 Mad World remains a gold standard for ensemble comedy. Its high-energy action, jaw-dropping stunts, and absurd humor continue to inspire modern films like Rat Race and The Wolf of Wall Street. While its slapstick style may seem excessive to some, its influence on the genre is undeniable. So, have you seen this classic comedy gem? What's your favorite scene? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into classic films.